What's up, YouTube? I'm your boy, Jack of all trades, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in for another video for this week. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be comparing buying a home versus renting a home. There are distinct advantages and disadvantages for each one. And you keep listening and you can find out which one works best for you. As you know, I make videos to teach you how to build generational wealth through the stock market, real estate, and entrepreneurship. If you're interested in one of those three things, then you're going to want to keep watching this video. Now, there are 4 distinct advantages to buying a home. The first one is that you're building equity in something. So each month that you pay your mortgage or your payment, your note, you're building equity. And equity is something that you can borrow against a lot of times. So if you have $100,000 home and you've put $20,000 into that home as far as payments, principal payments, then you have $20,000 worth of equity that you can maybe borrow against at a time in which you need some money to do something else. Now, some people might say that that's not a big advantage, but I would beg to differ. It depends on how much you needed that money at any particular time. So building equity is a big deal when you're buying a home. The more you pay your payments on time, the higher your credit score increases. And as you know, once you have the higher your credit score is, you can get other things you want on credit based off that high score. You get lower interest rates based off that high score. And the high score all starts with paying your mortgage on time. You don't really get that benefit by renting or leasing a house. Now, the third benefit of home ownership, of buying a home, is that your mortgage interest or taxes, you could write them off. They could be tax deductible. And that's probably a smaller benefit than the rest, but it's still a benefit. And it's one that you wouldn't get if you didn't have the home. So you want to take all the benefits possible that you can get, and being able to write off your mortgage interest or taxes, a benefit that I would take clear advantage of. Now, the fourth benefit to owning a home is that clearly a lot of times it goes up in value. Sometimes it goes down, but most times a home is something that increases in value. And when that happens, that's like extra money. It's like the stock market. You put in $100 and it goes up to $500. The stocks do. That's extra money that you didn't invest in. So if you have a $100,000 home and then you pay it off in 15 years, and after 15 years it's worth $150,000, then it just increased by 50%. And now you can sell it for $150,000 instead of $100. Those are 4 huge benefits of home ownership that you guys want to know, want to take advantage of, and you want those to be right in front of you when you're making that decision on whether to buy a new home or to continue renting. Now, there are also some disadvantages to buying a home. Now, I'll leave it up to you to decide whether these disadvantages outweigh the advantages or not. But one disadvantage is that buying a home requires a lot of upfront cost. 10 to 20% down payment, closing cost, that type of thing, and not everybody has that type of money. because it can be thousands of dollars depending on how much your home costs. And so that's one thing that you'll have to consider when deciding whether to buy a home or rent. Also, the process, it could be real complex, real tedious. Buying a home, it's not like a car. You can't really do it over a weekend. It takes weeks, months. I've never heard of buying a home in less than 30 days. So, this thing, it can be from 30 days to 90 days to get this process taken care of. It's a lot of paperwork involved, So you've got to decide whether that's worth it or not to you. Okay. Also, the property taxes will be on you. The HOA fees will be on you. As opposed, if you were renting, then whoever you were renting from would have to pay the property taxes, HOH fees. But if you're a homeowner, those fees will be on you. Again, that's not that big a deal because you go into it expecting to pay the taxes, possibly having them be tax deductible. HOH fees are generally not that much, but that still is something that you need to consider when trying to decide, how much of a house to buy, possibly. Also, any maintenance that goes on with the house, it's on you if you decide to buy. If you're renting or leasing a home, you can always call your landlord and say, such and such needs fixing. Okay, I need you to handle it. And generally they'll have a handyman or whoever that they'll do that. But if you buy a home, the yard's on you, the dog breaks the door's on you, kids put hole in, it's on you. But you go into it expecting that. So, I'm not sure that's a big deterrent, but that is a disadvantage of home ownership as opposed to renting. And typically, it's a 15 to 30 year decision to buy a home. Okay, you renting, you go from 6 months to 6 months, every 6 months or every year, when you're leasing or renting. But when you buy a home, it's a long-term decision. They won't sell you a home where you can pay off that note or that loan in a year or 3. It's generally 15-year mortgage, 30-year mortgage, that type of thing. And you've got to decide if that's worth it to you. Now, when you're making these decisions, it's real easy to be like, well, everybody has a home, so let me get a home. No, you've got to look at these 4 advantages and then these 5 disadvantages and say, what's best for me? Let me not do what everybody else is doing, because the benefit to everybody else may not be there to me based on where I'm at in my life and such and such. If you're younger, maybe you want a home to build that equity faster, build credit faster. If you're older, maybe you want to get rid of a home and get in a townhome or an apartment with a small note. All the kids are gone. So now you don't need all this home. You see, different points in your life will probably decide a lot of this for you. Like, I have 4 advantages and 5 disadvantages that can help you decide, but what point you're at in your life will also help you decide. Middle-aged, have a family, have small kids, you want them to have a nice yard. You don't want to mess with a landlord. You want property ownership, something you can wheel down to your children. You can't. If you're leasing a home, you can't wheel that down to your kids. That goes back to the landlord when you pass. But if you own a home, you can get that to your children. You can start building real estate, and that's one of the tenets of building wealth. So, just think about those things, and when you're trying to decide whether to buy a home or lease a home. Okay. Now, I hope this video has been beneficial for you. I love talking stocks. I love talking finance, real estate. And I just felt like coming on here and letting you know some people out there may be going through this process right now, giving you some things to think about when going through this process. Now, if this video has made sense to you, if you can use some things that I've laid out in front of you today, please like the video. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. I'd appreciate that very much. I'm your jack of all trades. I'll have another video on here tomorrow, so make sure you hit the bell so you can be the first one notified when that happens. Until next time, get money, people. Peace.